Hey residents of Meepletown, today we are looking at Skulk Hollow, and there have been guardians asleep for a long time, but they're awakening from their slumber to defeat the tiny Foxen.
Oh yeah, that's who I gets to play. Foxen.
So let's get to the table and look at Skulk Hollow.
Alright, so this is what Skulk Hollow looks like when it's set up and ready to roll. You ready to play, Dean?
I'm ready to go.
Alright, so this is a Skulk Hollow map. Again, Dean mentioned that he's going to play the Guardians. I'm going to play the Foxen Heroes. And one thing about this game is it's asymmetric in the sense of, for sure, we have different types of cards. We're doing different types of actions. Even he can only do 2 actions versus my 3 actions per turn. But there's also different win conditions. My win condition is I am trying to destroy Apoda. Is that who that is?
Looks right.
Okay, so I want to make sure I read that correctly. Someone will probably comment that I didn't, but that's okay.
We'll say Apoda.
That's what happens.
Apoda. We'll say all of them.
Yeah,
and we'll
we're gonna keep going. All right, and his win condition is you actually have 2 win conditions if you're the Guardians. Go ahead and tell about the first one.
All right, so for the Guardian, what I'm trying to do is collect these ruin tokens, and if I collect these ruin tokens by going into that space and burrowing, then they'll go onto my board, and if I collect 4 of those, then I will win, and that'll be my win condition. That's right.
The other win condition is if he destroys my king.
Correct.
So my prince of guile. And but I will say he cannot attack it if I have someone else banded together with him in the same space. So besides that, we're really going to be drawing cards. He's going to draw 4 for his who he is over there, his Guardian. And I'm going to draw 5, and we're just going to play 3 actions for me, 2 actions for him, and just keep going back and forth. So you want to play it?
Yep. Let's do this.
Let's do this. All right. So let me look at my cards over here. Maybe I should have looked at them before we started.
Maybe
oh,
so.
Wow. Man, I did not get any new folks. That's not good. I don't like that. And I'm worried that you can just stab me if I move forward.
Wow.
That's what you're going to try to do. Man,
I might stab you.
I do not like that. Okay, so I can do... That would take 2. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to maneuver. So these cards have dual purpose, I guess, or dual purpose. You can choose which action that you want to do. So I'm either going to take the maneuver action up top or the gain power action, which I'll talk about that here in a second. So I'm going to do the maneuver action, which you line the card up just like the board is here, meaning that I can go only to this spot, actually. I'm going to move my Sentinel over to that spot, which is this fella right here. And then I can't do the gain power, so that's going to go into my discard pile. Then I am going to... I'm going to be really aggressive at the beginning just for fun. Is that okay? I wouldn't actually
I don't care.
I wouldn't do this normally.
There's no way you can defeat that guy. Look how big he is.
I'm not. I'm going to gain ground once again, and I'm going to get right here. So that's my second action. And then for my third action, I'm going to use my missile. And my missile attack with the Sentinel says hurl from the Guardian's ground space, deal 1 wound to any Guardian location. So I have archers that can attack from surrounding spaces, but this guy can only attack from the ground space. So I get to hurl and attack him, and I am going to hit his burrow. So hopefully he can't go and burrow. Now, what I do at the end of my turn now is if I had any of the gain powers, I would be distributing them. I don't. Now I'm going to draw up to my 5-card hand limit, and it's Dean's turn.
All right.
Come on. Who shuffled these things?
Well, I think
me.
You did.
It was me.
All right. So I'm going to move down. I would like to be able to stomp that guy. Or that's actually not stomp. It would be that I could... stab him.
Use the right terminology.
That's right.
You can't stab him because he's in your same space, homie.
Right. Well, I would like to do something to him. That's right, in the same space. So I can't really do that even if I wanted to anyway. So I'm just going to move. So I'm going to do the slant left action, which is going to move me down here to this spot. And look how big this thing is, by the way.
It's huge, isn't it?
Gigantic. All right, so I'm going to move down there, hopefully to kind of move towards that ruin token right now. What I could do is move in towards the leader because that would be really helpful for me to be able to take that leader out. But I'm going to move down there, and I think the next thing I'm going to do is to gain a power, which is going to give me one of these cubes that goes into my pool. I only play 2 cards, and so that's going to be my turn. At the end of my turn, I'm going to draw back up to 4 and then move this token up to my pool so that I could use it to take an extra action next time.
There you go.
That's my turn.
Well, I'm playing extremely risky. So I am going to play this scatter card, which is going to move me down here. I'm then going to play my missile card, which is going to, make sure there's not another missile. Okay, there's not. Which is going to hit him again, and I'm going to stop his burrow so that he cannot slide down here and take this.
That's right.
And one thing that I guess I didn't specify is whenever you hit and you one of his areas and get all the hearts in one of his areas, they actually are not allowed to do that action anymore. Now, this guy's a little bit different than some of the other ones because he has several areas that still allow him to stab. But now that I've got this, he cannot burrow until he heals off of this burrow right here, so I can prevent him from grabbing that. That's my second action. For my third action, I am going to... I'm going to go ahead and gain power, which means I'm going to take a cube like Dean did. I'm going to put it right here. That's going to the discard, and I'm going to spread this to... I think I'm going to put this on my Sentinel for now and draw up.
All right.
Finally.
I would really like to do something. Now I do have my power token that I can use to molt, which will remove one of those. But I'm moving down this way so that I can burrow and take this spot. But the problem is he's leaving his leader wide open. And that guy only has... Well, you do have 2 hearts.
I have 2
on
hearts.
That one. So
if he kills him, I'm dead.
On your leader and on your other Sentinel character. So I've got an option. I could start moving towards the leader, maybe take a shot at the leader, or I could look at potentially trying to take the Sentinel out or getting this. So I think what I'm going to do is... I'll show you how this works. So I'm going to use this to molt, and that's going to remove one of my burrow tokens. Then I still have my 2... actions left over, so I'm going to gain ground by moving down this way. And then for my last action, I will burrow.
Dang it.
Which will take this one, put it on my
all
board.
that work to stop you from burrowing.
You could still stop me more.
And he burrowed.
But that'll be my entire turn. It was a good turn because I was able to complete one of the 4 objectives of collecting those ruins. But... I didn't say, when you burrow, you take that move back to this location so that you're always going to keep going back there.
So I really need to fortify some of these other areas, which is why I've been getting upset as I haven't drawn any of these cards, but there's tons of these people cards, so I don't know why I haven't been drawing them, but hey, that just is what it is. So I've got this rogue now, and part of me saying I could put him here to band him against that, but I'm not going to because I doubt he's going to be able to do much here. I can move him back if I have to. I can put it in this space, or this space. So I'm going to put the rogue in that space. All right, so now that I have my rogue over here, I think I don't have a lot of other choices. Honestly, I would really like to have more of these people out here, but I don't have any. So I'm just going to spend this turn to really get prepped for lots of... moves potentially by having all of my cubes out here to where I could do a ton of actions. Yeah, to rock you.
That makes me a lot nervous. Good thing we're not playing through this entire game because I feel like that's quite the move. So what I originally wanted to do was just kind of go around and collect some of those. But what I want to do a little bit more right now, even though this puts me in a really dangerous spot, is I would like to put some pressure on John and on his leader, which I'm walking into the fire to take a bunch of damage, but I'm going to move into the center of the board.
Yep.
Right now.
It's the right move.
I think that I will stab. Now, unfortunately, I don't have any power tokens to take any extra actions, but I'm going to take a stab at your leader.
If he did, I wouldn't have done that because I would have known that he could.
Right.
Me.
So I'm going to take a stab at your leader, and that gives you one damage on there. It takes 2 to kill the leader.
That's it. So he's almost about to beat me.
Potentially, yep.
All right, what do you say? Do one more each, and
one more each. I like it.
Tell them how we feel about the game. All right. So now that I've got 3 of these, the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to play. Let's see. I'm going to play a knight. And with this knight, I'm going to find the symbol, and I'm going to band the knight with my leader so that he can't just attack at one time. So that's my first move. My second move is... man, I really hate I don't have any movement cards, which is stinky, and I can't put a guy or gal in the same space as that at the moment. So I'm going to just play another knight. So I can do a movement, though. Yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to play my other knight, and oh my goodness gracious, I was about to take a heart and put the damage on me. I think I'm going to do that. That would make my second move. Yeah, let's do it. Let's just get a bunch of guys out for the moment. Let me play my other knight put put on this space right here. Then I'm going to remove this token. So whenever you're removing the token for the Fox and Heroes, you can do either any actions shown by their icon. So for the Rogue, can leap onto someone or do a melee attack, which means stabbing them. You have to be on top, actually on the creature in order to do that. But I can also remove a cube to do a movement, any movement. So I'm going to take a cube, which doesn't count as an action, so I still have one more action left, to go into his space. And the Rogue says, when this hero unit takes a leap action, they may attach to any Guardian location. So I think I'm going to... Yeah. I think I'm going to go ahead and leap up on him. And I can take an additional leap action. So I was here on the burrow, which I could stay on to stop him from burrowing. Or I could do one more and go up and try to attack his slam. I'm going to stay in the burrow, actually. That way I can try to block that. But that is my three moves.
Okay. What I would like to do is be able to move. And at this point, because I'm so surrounded, I would like to just move in here and burrow, take that rune token with me and just get out of there. Unfortunately, I cannot do that because I don't have the power to do that and I don't have a burrow action. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to stab twice, I think. So I'm going to stab into this spot again, which I have to do.
Which is this one?
The knight.
Stab.
And then I'll stab again, which will stab the knight again and take that one out.
Yep.
That way, again, it's putting a little more pressure so that he has to go in there and protect his leader, and he's having to take actions to do that. So,
yep.
Don't normally go that route. Typically, I go straight up just trying to collect the runes. But in this case, the way
I was being aggressive
up,
early though too, so
that's
that
right.
caused. I think that it left you the open door. Oftentimes, I'll have a lot of people banded with my hero to just prevent that main hero character from getting hit and stuff. But
that's right. But that gives you a good idea on how the game plays out, specifically with this Apodo. Now, the other Guardians play out pretty differently. But what do you think about the art and components?
I think that the art is good. It's nice, like kind of cartoony art, which is really cool. It's not the best, the most amazing thing. I like a little bit quirky stuff to be amazing sometimes, but it's good. It's solid cartoony art for sure. What do you think about that?
I love it.
Yeah,
I think it's
good.
Great, and the components I think are fantastic too.
That's what I was gonna say.
The screen printed wooden tokens, which you need to see which knight you're playing with and which rogue and all of that. And the rune tokens, they could have just been normal, but they got screen print on there. I really, really enjoy all the components and the art. I like the art a lot.
Yeah, the components are, like he said, they're really solid. I love how they have these creatures. Now, we didn't mention that the Guardians, there's actually 4 Guardians that you're able to play. So there's this one and then 3 others. I guess
that's 4.
Yeah, that's 4. But they all have different decks of cards. They also all have different creatures. Some of their creatures have different tokens, like the rune token. Some of them don't. Guardians. So all these are nice, man. They're huge. It's so cool.
Yeah.
It's like
I know you'll probably throw something up there anyway, but like the detail on that's really good for a wooden token.
It is, and it feels. Let's just move into gameplay.
Yeah.
It feels thematic because of that.
Yes.
So I have these little fox and heroes that are down here, and they're jumping onto these big giant guardians and stabbing them, and when they're on the ground, they're trying to shoot them with. They don't have guns. Trying to shoot them and stuff like that. So the game feels
still
thematic.
made the gunshot.
No, I went like this.
Okay.
That's a. I guess I should go or would be more accurate.
I don't know.
Did you smell my breath right then?
I did.
Woo! All right. What do you think about the gameplay besides that one thing I mentioned?
Yeah, I tend to enjoy games that have asymmetrical play. Now, when John got this, we got a review copy, and John described this as kind of Root, 2-player Root light.
Light.
And I think it doesn't play out like Root, but I got what he was saying, that asymmetrical gameplay, the woodland creatures, all of that. That's kind of my jam. I really like that. And I also like the gameplay. Now, the thing I was a little worried about is when I'm looking at the Guardian player, I've got a really small deck of cards, and you think, okay, that might get kind of stale, but you have to. It's a very tactical game where you have to do your actions based on what the other player's doing. And so what John was doing is really ganging up on me. Well, I had to figure out a way that I could, attack an area, his leader, for example, that's going to help me out and put me in a better position. So it's just that back and forth that I think is really fun. And the way that the cards play that really, it hinders you from all the things that you want to do, but I still think it's a lot of fun in how that plays out.
Yeah, I agree with that. I also like the way the power cubes work. Now, all the Guardians don't. I think 3 out of 4 have the power cube thing, but the Foxen heroes definitely do. So you're making those decisions in the game. Do I want to hold off and not do anything super aggressive this turn, but build up these, because I can take these for free actions, which are really, really nice. I like the card-based action play. Yeah, and I like how I like how there's different Guardians.
Yeah.
So I like how the games feel different every time you play. Now I'm sure that eventually, if you've played 20 times, you know how the Guardians all work, and you've played them plenty of times. But overall, I think
then there's expansions and things like that.
I mean, it adds. There's a lot of variability in this, and it feels, especially when you're first going through the different Guardians, a lot different. Which I like that part about the game. So
I will say this about the Grak Guardian, which is the intro Guardian. Does not seem to be balanced, and according to other people that have mentioned that online, it's just not balanced. But if you're just basing your play off of that Grak, playing against Grak, and I won't say how it's imbalanced, you can figure that out on your own, right?
Well, I mean, yeah, and there's people that will say that it's not, so I want to. But I did see some threads where the overwhelming majority said, even someone who had said, oh, it's totally balanced, and someone said, hey, try this strategy.
Right.
And they did and came back and said, oh, yeah, that's going to be really tough.
Not so much.
And that soured me, the gameplay a little for me, because that's like the initial, this is how you start off. And what had happened was I had played it several times, and no one with Grak won, and they kept doing this same strategy of jumping on and stopping them from throwing people off and not putting a lot of people on the board, because Grak needs to kill 8 people. So I don't know, and maybe we're just wrong, and there's a better way to play, but that soured me just a little bit in the game.
Yeah, I wish that there was some patches to kind of fix that piece, because you want to be able to play with all 4 of them.
You do, and I don't ever want to play with him again.
That's right. At this point, so
unless to figure out a way to win.
Right. I mean, if you just want to. Just keep getting destroyed over and over again. That's right. Well, let's talk about our final ratings. What do you think?
Okay, so like I said, I enjoyed the play of this game. Now, it didn't just totally wow me, and I didn't go, whoa, this is the most amazing game. It's a solid game for me and my son to play. My 11-year-old really liked this game. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm not happy to play with Dean, because I am. It's not a kid's game or anything, but it was a fun game that it was easy enough for him to learn, which means I think it's an easy enough game for a lot of people to play. Like it's I mean, you're just kind of doing what the card says, and you're jumping. There's not a whole lot of not a whole lot to it. I mean, the Guardians have definitely a few more actions and stuff that they can do, but I mean, for the most part, it's pretty simple to play, which then to me, I don't love that either, because I think I like a little bit more in-depth strategy. It seemed a little. There's a lot of strategy in the game. There's a lot of strategy. I guess I wish there's maybe a little bit more to it. But I mean, overall, it's a solid game. Nothing that I'm like super excited to play. Now, again, you're talking to a guy who likes classic Euro games for the most part. So when I saw this, I wanted to pick it up for a review. I'm actually going to hold on to it because my son likes it, but I was thinking of Dean a lot because I thought this is more his style of game. So from someone with that point of view that I'm at, I'm giving it a 6.5 out of 10, which again still means that I enjoy playing the game, and it's just not super my style, but it's definitely not a bad game, and I understand. I think Dice Tower gave this a seal of excellence, and maybe I don't get seal of excellence, but seal of approval I would understand.
Sure, yeah.
But, again, some people will love this game, but it's decent for me.
Yeah, I enjoy this game a little bit more. I think, again, John said this is more my style of game. I do like those tactical kind of games. You talked about not being really heavy in strategy. It's not a strategy game in that sense. Like, you have a strategy, like in this game, I want to collect all these runes if possible. But then that changes, and that's where that tactical piece comes in, and I enjoy that. But it just didn't wow me in that sense. Now, I think it's cool. I love the idea that the Foxen are jumping up onto the Guardian. I think that's fantastic. The idea of that's really cool. But it's not like I had a lot of these like super wow, running around the room, exciting moments, which, not that all games have to have that, but I wanted a little bit more excitement in that. But I still enjoy it. I love asymmetrical
Maybe that's what
play.
I'm talking about. Like when I said, maybe it's not just the strategy. Maybe it's just there's something that I'm going. it's okay.
Yeah, yeah. And the other thing is it's a quick game, and I like that. I mean, it's very fast. You can play with anybody. So anyway, for me, I give it a 7, which is not a bad score at all. I like this
7
game.
out of 10 is good.
I think this one's fun. I would like a patch, for Grack and to explore this game more thoroughly, and to potentially have more Guardians down the road, or change up the way the Foxen plays, things like that I think could bump this up a little bit. But as it is, I still enjoy it. That's a 7 for me, and a 6.5 from John.
Yep.
So why don't you tell people how they can get in touch with us?
All right, if you're enjoying our channel, we would love for you to subscribe to it. Even click on that little bell notification so you can be notified as we come out with new videos. We are on Facebook, on Instagram, and on Twitter. All that is at Meepletown Games. We have a podcast on Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, all that good stuff. Just look up Meepletown. Finally, if you want to get more to the nitty-gritty, you can join our Board Game Geek Guild. Guild number 3407.
Thanks for coming down to Meepletown.
Thanks for joining us, and be sure to follow us on Twitter at Meepletown Games, and connect with us on the Meepletown Guild, Guild number 3407, at BoardGameGeek.com, and also subscribe to our podcast and YouTube channel. And until next time, thanks for coming down to Meepletown.